Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, December 6th. Wanted to do a quick market update just because I do think that there is a good amount of froth and open interest that has built up. All this is definitely visible, through open interest spikes in BTC, the strong momentum and trend that we've had in Bitcoin and altcoins. And generally, when you have such a significant move in the market, you will get pullbacks, right? Like you can't just go straight up forever. You're going to get whipsaws and, really high volatility moves. And so what I'm expecting today is, something like these lows right here to just get whipsawed into like this. And maybe we continue higher over the next few days, or we build a base right here into mid-December, and then we rocket higher into mid to late December. Okay. That's kind of what I'm thinking headed into today and the rest of this week, right? So today's Wednesday. I do easily think that, by end of week, we probably clean up some of the froth and heavy open interest buildup around this area. And I think if that gets cleaned up, we tag this VWAP weekly, reclaim something like that. Like I said, mid December or end of week, we do something like that. Okay. So that's my general thought on BTC. Now, 4-hour and daily, I mean, obviously they're incredibly strong and they could just continue to pretty much keep going up, right? That there's no problem with that. On a daily basis, I do see a lot of wickless candles, like this wickless candle and this somewhat wickless candle right here. I mean, generally, like in my experience, wickless candles do not often get left behind that easily. But given that we've also extended out of this consolidation range, in a strong manner with impressively high volume, as you could see, right? This is pretty, good increasing volume right here with good increasing candle spread out of a consolidation pattern right here. I don't think that we have to come back all the way here and then go up. That's why I kind of said that, instead of going in like down here or, even here, which again, I don't think is necessary. I think more often than not, it may be something close to like these levels, which is weekly VWAP, which is close to about 42.6, 42.7, something like that maybe, and then push higher. Now that's going to probably cause a decent amount of volatility in markets across the board. So I just tweeted out, I'm looking at Solana in the same way, which is looking at this particular level around 57.8 to come back into. I expect market to sort of bomb into this level. All these stops that have been, built up right here where people have been probably overly comfortable in levered positions are going to get cleaned up, in my opinion. And then, we could possibly rocket higher end of day or end of week or next week, right? I mean, it doesn't matter when, because it's hard to predict when, but that's kind of the area where I would see BTC going, Solana going in and doing some cleanup of stops somewhere down here. We've had that kind of like high volatility, sharp pullback and sharp reversal style moves like this before. If you guys remember back in 2021, I don't know if y'all were around back then, Solana used to do that quite a bit where you'd have whipsaw volatility style moves like this, or like this one right here where the market was consolidating, sharp drop, sharp wick, and then pop, rocket back up. Same thing. Where is it? Let me see. There's something like that. Anyway, point is, I mean, you could probably find many examples. Same thing like right here too, right? Very sharp, deep wicks push back up. But the point is that I think sentiment has built up enough froth. I think markets are probably extended to one side. And now is probably the time where if you have levered positions, you probably want to think about de-risking. Again, this is not investment advice. This is how I am thinking about the market. And so, headed into today, again, I'm not really interested in shorts, right? Like all I'm really doing is the past, few days or few weeks is effectively, if you look at my position updates here, this is kind of all I'm doing: spot trading, take it easy. Here and there, I provide opportunities and insights on levered positions, but like you're making decent money not trading leverage. So what's the point, right? When you see things like ST-bot, which is something I've been for the past, maybe like a week or two, right? I mean, this thing is continuously just, slowly grinding its way up. Like, what am I gonna sell this for? Because at a like I said, $1 million market cap right now, it's very easy to sort of put on levered positions and try to make, let's just say if I see this thing going up 5x, let's see, 500-600% return, right? That's very difficult to make that in levered positions in markets like Bitcoin or Solana, unless you're taking a lot of risk in a lot of high levered positions, right? So I kind of see the market as at this point as an area where you may want to just be careful and not try to overtrade, not try to get cute with it. Wait for the pullbacks. That if you have dry powder, meaning extra cash on the side or whatever, that might give you a buying opportunity. That might be, the opportunity if you want to, leverage long, like that could be the time to lever long rather than trying to short this and hoping it drops. You see what I'm saying? Because markets, when they're strong, they're really strong, and you don't know if you're going to get the pullback. And if you do, you don't know if you're going to have the guts to be able to pull the trigger anyway. So yeah, anyway, that's really my overall thought process right now on I already talked about ST-bot many times. I'm not going to talk about it really anymore, just because I think I've made it definitively clear that if you continue to look, type in ST-bot or Solana trading bot or whatever, right? I'm still probably the only person talking about it. I've done like 5 or 6 videos on it. Telegram bots are still incredibly underrated in Solana. I think the Solana ecosystem as a whole is underrated. So I'm not going to talk about the metrics over and over. So you could do your own research on DeFi Llama and see Ethereum sitting at 22 billion market cap, and TVL and Solana at 693 million. Right, the opportunity is massive for Solana. Let me see here. So yeah, we've talked about open interest. So if you go to Coinalyze right here and you look at open interest spikes, right? Basically, what you want to look out for in open interest is if you see continuous rise or huge spikes in open interest and price is really not moving anywhere, right? So for example, this is a pretty substantial rise in open interest without any large cleanup in that open interest, meaning this is all leverage. And if the spot bid, meaning real BTC buyers instead of futures buyers, are not present, then this could cause a volatile shakeout and do something like this. But this open interest is going to get wiped out, right? And then it will slowly build its base again and slowly rise again. That is really the method of madness in futures markets, which is you try to put on leverage and try to basically, front run the spot bid, but sometimes you get wiped out because you're taking too much risk when the reality is the markets are too extended and they do need a pullback. Okay. So anyway, in this particular area, I do think the markets do need a pullback. I think that open interest needs to get cleaned up, and then I think the market can rocket higher. And again, my overall thought process on the market headed into the next couple of weeks, I guess, is, I think it's pretty easy for us to tag 50K, 50, 51, something like that. Even if you look at the market on, let's just say, a 3-month basis, right? I think these highs right here at minimum are going to get taken out right there, which is around 48.4 or 48.3, so spike up into that either December or January. And then I do think that we're going to get a pretty sharp pullback in the market, probably sometime next year. Okay. And then again, same goes for Solana, I do think that Solana is due for another face-ripping move. I don't know if it's like $80 or 90 or 120 like that. I'm really not sure. But if the face ripper move is really coming like ahead of us, rather than like this was it, I think 120 is just maximum pain and FOMO. Pain and FOMO from literally everyone who's on the sidelines, and pain and FOMO from everyone who's been stuck on Ethereum, just not really delivering the same kind of returns as Solana and Solana ecosystem have, right? So in that sense, I think if Solana is going to explode like that, things like ST Bot, Myro, Bonk, I think these things are probably going to explode higher. I have a little bit of Myro, I have a little bit of Bonk, but nothing substantial, right? I'm not looking at this to go another 10x from here, just because these markets are already extremely extended and they're extremely expensive because they're high market cap, right? Same goes for Pumper. I've already talked about Pumper before, right? This is another market that I'm paying attention to. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff around the ecosystem that I believe is doing incredibly well. And there's a lot of stuff that also looks like crap, so stay away from the crap, buy the good stuff. Even if you have to pay slightly higher premium for good stuff, don't buy things that are just, being released today or trending or whatever, just because you think that you can get, that 5x, 10x or whatever. Focus on what your narrative and thesis is, and then, go from there. Okay. Anyway, we also see things like GBTC doing well here as US markets open. MicroStrategy, which is basically, like a Bitcoin proxy, also doing relatively well. And then, of course, Coinbase forming somewhat of a top here, I think, like a local top. This to me is, like a island style top reversal pattern. And I think it's going to get a pullback maybe to like 128, 130, something like that. And if it starts pushing higher, then that's great. Then your trade is from here to probably like 160, 170. If it does something like this, and starts rolling over again, we may have put in a top for crypto as a whole, headed pretty much like end of year, beginning of next year. But again, that remains to be seen, right? All right. So yeah, you can, find me on Twitter talking about all kinds of stuff related to markets. I help out a lot of teams and I work with a lot of different teams in crypto, whether it's Solana related or Ethereum related. If you or your team are working on something and you need help, let me know. I can help in whichever way I can. And then in general, I just talk markets, all the stuff that I see in markets, what I think is undervalued, overvalued, how I think positioning looks, what is exciting to me, things like Portal, ST Bot, yeah, anything I want to talk about, I talk about pretty openly. So yeah, if y'all want to join our community, the Discord link is below. You can join our community. I talk all about my positions, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, why I'm buying, why I'm selling, and just all kinds of different, market related stuff. All right, come join. Good luck. Take care. Cheers.